Hare Krishna Niyati, Hare Krishna Nishita, Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yeah, I think this is now better. As soon as I said, you responded, so this is better. No, okay, whatever. Okay, we finished.
Started.
We finished till 14 chapters. We are going to do 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so let's do the 15th chapter. We are done with our prayers already. Let's start with the chapter. The chapter name is Yoga of the Supreme Person. Very important chapter, 15th chapter again. 15th chapter mainly deals with, every section of Bhagavad Gita deals with certain topics. Here 15th chapter deals with the purpose of all the Vedic knowledge, girls. What is the purpose of this Vedic knowledge? And it explains that the purpose of the Vedic knowledge is to detach oneself from the entanglement of this material world. Today we started the class with pain and distress and how to transcend that pain and distress and how to get out of that pain and distress. So it is to detach oneself from the entanglement of material world and to understand the Supreme Personality of the Godhead is Krishna. All the Vedas, all the Upanishads, all the scriptural studies, all the scriptures which speak about the eternal source of everything. Everything is to understand the essence of all these things, is to understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of the Godhead and to take the help of them and get detached from this material world. One who understands Krishna is the Supreme Personality of the Godhead, surrenders unto him and engages in his devotional service, the purpose of this human life for him is fulfilled. People say that, oh, aina janma dhanyam aipoyindi, right? Janma dhanyam aipoyindi means he has fulfilled all his responsibilities nicely as a father, as a son, as a brother, as a sister, or whichever way, that their life is completely fulfilled with their purpose. No, the life purpose is not just bodily. Life purpose is according to our nature. Our nature, I mean to say, we are the soul, and soul connected to Krishna, and we have consciously, voluntarily got separated from Krishna. Now we have to consciously, voluntarily go back to Krishna. That's the purpose. So this section of Bhagavad Gita deals mostly with the Vedas, Upanishads, and the knowledge of Vedas, knowledge in the Upanishads, and the conclusion is Krishna. Conclusion is to know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of the Godhead, and the devotional service is the only way to go back to Krishna. The first verse of 15th chapter is very important, 15.1, beautiful verse. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, starts with Krishna speaking. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, ऊर्ध्वमूलम् अधः शाखम् अश्वत्थं प्राहुरव्ययम् छन्दांसि यस्य पर्णानि यस्तं वेद स वेदवेत्. Beautiful. Krishna is saying, it is said, now you imagine this reality. We have been imagining the illusion for n number of lifetimes. Now you imagine this reality, because we are not able to feel this reality, but this is the reality. So you imagine before you this reality. It is said that there is an imperishable banyan tree. Banyan trees are huge, very huge. So there is an imperishable banyan tree that has its roots upward. We never see the roots of the tree, right? But imagine that it has the roots upward and its branches are downwards, and the leaves of the tree are the Vedic hymns. One who knows this tree is the real knower of the Vedas. Mataji, doesn't fit in our brains. What is this tree? Why is it upside down? And what we have to understand out of it. Material world is a perverted reflection of spiritual world. In spiritual world we focus on the spirit, in the material world we focus on the matter. In the spiritual world our life and soul is the source of our Sri Krishna. In the material world our life and soul is this body and bodily relationships. This imagination you can get it clearly when suppose the roots are transparent, and imagine a big banyan tree in the banks of a water reservoir. Then you can see the tree in the water, the image you can see in the water. In that image you can see that the branches and stems and the leaves are inward. I mean mirror image. Your head is down and your legs are up, like that. You can see this tree. So what about this tree? What about these leaves? Why we are trying to understand this in this way? We will get more understanding through the purports and the details of this tree. What is this tree and all? There is no ready experience in this world of the tree situated with branches down and roots upward, but there is something called like that. The tree can be found beside the reservoir of water. We can see the tree on the bank reflect upon the water with their branches down and the roots up. In the other words, tree of this material world is only a reflection of the real tree in the spiritual world. What is this tree? What is it making us understand? What are the leaves and flowers? We will do details. The reflection of the spiritual world is situated on desire. Okay, kids? Desire, very important. Ichha, desire. Just as a tree's reflection is situated in the water, so water is the base, or water is the abode of this image, right? Without water you cannot see the image of the tree. In the same way, without desire you cannot understand this. Without the concept of desire we cannot understand this analogy. Desire is the cause of the things being situated in the material light. Desire is the cause. One who wants to get out of material existence must know this tree thoroughly. Analytical study. We did the analytical study of body and soul, right? This is for the existence of the jiva in the material world. Then he can cut the relationship with this material world. If we don't know that this is a material world, if we don't know that this is our desire is the basis for our material existence, we cannot cut the roots of this material desires and connection from the material world, and we cannot go to the spiritual world. The tree brings the real reflection. The tree being the real reflection of the real tree is an exact replica. Everything is there in the spiritual world also. There is nothing missing in the spiritual world, kids. The impersonalists take Brahman to be the root of material tree, and from that root, according to the Sankhya philosophy or the analytical divisioning, comes Prakriti, Purusha and all these things. Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala, Karma. 5 topics discussed. All the gunas come out of this. Then the 10 senses, mind, etc. Everything comes from this thing. In this way, all the Pancha Mahabhutas also come from here. The whole material world is divided into 24 elements. Material world is a manifestation of the center. Manifestation of the center by 108 degrees, and other 108 degrees constitutes of spiritual world. The material world is as I have described before, perverted reflection. So the spiritual world must have the same variegatedness, but in reality. What we see, the flower is real. That will not have any deterioration. Now in the winter, all these little flowers will go. There won't be any flowers. They won't bloom. Everything is gone. But it's not like that. The Supreme Lord himself has manifested himself as Prakriti, the external energy. And that's explained in Bhagavad Gita already. And this manifestation through the Supreme Lord is external, is temporary. Because a reflection is always temporary. Is the reflection real? No. Is the reflection permanent? No. For it sometimes is seen, reflection, for it sometimes is not seen. But the origin from the reflection is reflected is eternal. So the real tree is the tree in the spiritual world. What you see here in the material world is the reflection of the real tree. How we can experience the real tree is by cutting off the knots with the fake tree or the reflection tree. And how we have to cut the knots from that material, how we have to get detached from the connections or the roots is been explained in this chapter. One who is attracted by the Vedic ritualistic formulas is attracted by the leaves are the Vedic hymns, leaves are the Vedic rituals, Vedic karma kandic procedures, so they will be attracted to the leaves. That's not the exact purpose of the Vedas. The purpose of the Vedas is described by the personality of the Godhead himself. He says to cut down the roots of this reflected tree and attain the real tree in the spiritual world. Here basically it is said that this material world is illusory. This material world is not permanent. So let's get out of this material world and seek something in the spiritual world, which is real reality. Now we will go to the description of this banyan tree. The branches of this tree are extended downwards and upwards. Nourished by what? The branches are nourished by the three modes of material nature. There are small twigs to that branches, yes. So branches are three modes of material nature. The twigs are the objects of senses, like this house, this car, this beautiful something. These are all the objects of our senses. We get attracted to the objects of senses. So the twigs that come out of the branches, the twigs that come out of the three modes of material nature basis are objects of our senses. Got it? Little bit understanding? Just analogy, try to understand. The twigs are the objects of the senses. This tree also has roots going down, and these are bound to the fruitive actions of the human society. The roots which are keeping us connected to this material world are the roots of fruitive activities. I have done this, this is my result, I have to enjoy this result. Fruitive activity. You do something to get something. That's called fruitive activity mentality. So the roots are strong here. I have worked, I have to enjoy, I am the owner, I am the proprietor, I am the enjoyer. So the root is there. The root is bound by the fruitive active mentality. We can go on little more details. As the tree is nourished by the water, so what is nourishment for this temporary illusory reflectional tree is the three modes of material nature, because we said the reflection, the basis is water body, reservoir of the water body. So that is the nourishment. And what is that? Three modes of material nature. Sometimes we find a tract of land which is completely barren, right kids, for want of sufficient water. And sometimes a tract of land is very green, where particular modes of material nature are potentially greater in quantity. The different species of life are manifested accordingly. In the desert something else grows, in the green land something else grows, in the desert some other living entities will be there, in the green land there will be some other living entities. As we explained that the twigs of this tree are considered to be the sense objects. So by developing, or by the development of the different modes of material nature, we develop different senses, and by these senses we enjoy different varieties of the sense objects. Got it? The water is the nutrition, that's the three modes of material nature, right? On which this branches, everything, tree reflection is there, and with that nutrition what grows is the senses. So these senses are getting attracted towards the sense objects. So the tips of the branches are the senses, ear, nose, eyes, etc., which are attached to the enjoyment of the sense objects. What are the sense objects? Twigs. The subsidiary roots, what we have already explained, are the attachments and aversions. We have a lot of attachments in this material world, right? So those attachments are the roots. So we have to disconnect those roots. We have to disconnect those attachments. And these roots develop secondary roots. Yes, it's only not one root, right? Primary. To that root there are different. If you have seen the small tree, any tree roots, it's not one root, one tree grows. On that tree there are subsidiary roots also. So what are these roots? Different attachments of ours, strongly, deeply rooted. After one enjoys the results of the various activities in the upper planetary systems, he comes down to the earthly planetary system to review his karma again. Just this material world is felt to be a field of activity, that's it. Again we go. And if we perform our activities properly in this material world, cutting off these knots of attachment in the material world, then we need not come back here. No headache, no stomach ache, no anything. Everything is gone. The real form of this tree cannot be perceived in this world. No one knows where it ends, where it begins, what is the foundation of this. But with great determination, we have to cut down strongly rooted tree. And with what weapon we have to cut down? Attachments can be cut down with what? Detachment. Detachment is the weapon to cut the attachment. You can get attached to Krishna because he is permanent, and the happiness what we get from him is permanent. He is Achyuta, infallible. So whatever we do for him will be serving the infallible, not the fallible, which falls down, which deteriorates, which goes by time. And the weapon of detachment only can cut the attachment to this material world. And that weapon of detachment has to be sharpened with the Shastra. Got it? Real knowledge. Knives have to sharpen, or else it won't cut easily. And that sharpening of the knife, Niyati, are you understanding? That sharpening of the knife has to be done with the knowledge from the Vedas, knowledge from the Shastra, knowledge from the real essence of Vedantas, Vedanta Sutras it is called. So we all should seek to that eternal place from there is no comeback. We surrender to the Supreme Lord from whom everything begins and from whom everything is extended. Since not 1 day, 2 day, 1 year, 2 year, million years, since time immemorial. I have explained you in a glimpse in the previous chapter about Krishna's creational power in the universal form, how he comes as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, Karadhanakaya Vishnu into the universes, into the human beings, in the body as consciousness, Paramatma, everything. Asanga. Asanga means no association. Sangha means association. Asanga means not taking association. By not taking association of the people who are living on the basis of being body. For them body is everything. Today only in the Prabhupada Lilamrita reading morning we were reading that there are two misconceptional theories in the West. One is we are not the soul, we are the body. We are not the soul, we are the matter, we are the body. That's why this Big Bang theory and all experiments, right? And the second one is we don't have life after this life. That's it. This life is there and this body is there. We have to enjoy it fully. But Krishna says, I am the origin of everything. Aham sarvasya prabhava. We just read that verse. As soon as one surrenders to Krishna, one becomes detached automatically. No special endeavors to be made. But to get attached to Krishna and revive our original consciousness, we have to go through a process of bhakti, devotional service, and it includes everything. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnoha Swaranam, Padasevanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam. Big. I mean, big in the sense you need not do all those things also. Even if you focus on one of the type of devotional service also, you can go back to Krishna. Krishna is merciful, so giving us the big menu. Okay, you don't want to do this, do this. If you don't want to do this, do this. If you can't do this, do this, do this, do this. But it's mercy. We have to be free from false prestige. In the previous chapters we read, right? What are the qualities of a person who is self-realized? Big list we had, right? Some 24 good 30 qualities it has been mentioned. Those who are free from false prestige, illusion and false association. We have to consciously choose our association. What is our recreational methods? What are our recreational plans? That's also important. I feel happy by doing this. Okay, is it proper one? Is it licit? Is it illicit? Yes, it is giving you happiness, but it is proper, it is improper, it is licit, it is illicit, it is authorized, it is not authorized, many things. False association. Free from false prestige, illusion. Who understand the eternal. What is eternal? That which is connected to the source is eternal, the source is eternal. One who can understand what is the difference between lust and love. One who is freed from the dualities of happiness and distress. Dualities arise from we identifying ourselves separately from Krishna kids. When we don't identify ourselves separately from Krishna, we always identify ourselves in connection with Krishna, then there is no duality at all in this material world or anywhere. No duality. Unbewildered personality. We get bewildered lot of the times. N number of lifetimes we are getting bewildered. And one who can surrender unto the Supreme will definitely attain the eternal kingdom. And Krishna is explaining about this wonderful abode. How is this spiritual abode where we are aspiring to go to? So listen carefully. The supreme abode of mind, Krishna is saying, is not illuminated by the sun or moon. Krishna says sun and moon are two of my eyes and the whole material world is illuminated with the sun and moon. So here there is no factory or fire or electricity. It's not illuminated by sun or moon. Just by Krishna's effulgence, everything is lighted up there. Those who reach this my eternal abode will not come back to this material world again. And this eternal abode is called Goloka or Krishna Loka or Vrindavana or Goloka Vrindavana. In the spiritual sky, there is no need of sunshine, moonshine, anything, fire, electricity, nothing. Because all the planets are self-luminous there. We have only one planet in the universe, the sun, which is self-luminous. Yes? Remaining all planets get the light from the sun. Sun is the alone which is self-luminous. But all the planets in the spiritual sky are self-luminous. The shining effulgence of all those planets in the which is called planets called Vaikunthas constitutes of the shining sky known as Brahma Jyotir. What is this Brahma Jyotir? Brahma Jyotir means effulgence, aura, light of the Supreme Lord. And that aura is coming from the Krishna Loka or Goloka Vrindavan. It's not only inside the Goloka Vrindavan, but all the spiritual sky, Vaikuntha planets, all the Vaikuntha planets are being illuminated by the light energy of the Goloka Vrindavan. This shining effulgence is there on the earthly planetary system, but it is covered by the Mahat Tattva in the material world. Major portion of the shining sky full of spiritual planets which are called Vaikunthas, chief of them which is Goloka Vrindavan, everything is spiritual. Nishita is feeling sleepy.
No.
But once we reach the spiritual sky by cutting the false perverted tree of this material world, coming back out to our tree analogy, we become liberated. Then we don't no chance that we will come back here. Here the living entity considers himself to be the Lord of this material world. We say, right, lording it over nature. Lording it over means I am the controller, I am the maintainer, I am the all-in-one. To be the Lord of material world. But in the liberated state, once he enters into the spiritual world and becomes an associate of the Supreme Lord, his eternal happiness is in feeling that he is the subservient to Krishna. We all should be captivated by this information, very good knowledge. We should desire to transfer ourselves to the eternal world. We have to cut the roots of attachment through the process of detachment, which is sharpened by the knowledge, real knowledge. There is a one beautiful verse, 15.7. Mamai vamsho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana manashastani indriyani prakritisthani karshati. We, the living entities in this conditioned world, are the part and parcel, eternal parts of Supreme Lord. But due to this conditioned life, we are struggling very, very, very hard with our 6 senses. 5 gross senses, and the leader of the senses, 6th one is the mind. We are struggling here with these senses. We can't keep these senses out of our existence because they are part of our existence. So how to deal with the senses is by dovetailing these senses towards the eternal. Everything is Krishna and everything is Krishna's. The Supreme Lord manifests and expands himself as innumerable expansions. First expansions as Vishnu Tattva they are called, and then the Vishnu Tattva again into the second expansion, and then different avatars and all these things. And we the living entities Qualitatively we are the same as Krishna, but quantitatively we are very, 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 very small. A drop in the ocean and the full ocean. Living entities doesn't mean it's only the human beings. Cats, dogs, everybody. In their own arena, they think that they are the controllers. They are not. Shiva, Brahma, nobody is the controller. The source of Shiva, Brahma is the controller. Sometimes little controlling capacity is given by the source to everyone. That doesn't become, they become the source. We are all bind up here with the iron chains and golden chains with our activities inclined towards the mode of material nature. Good activities, golden chains. Bad activities, iron chains. Chains are chains. Anyhow, we are bound. Mamai Vamsha, very important part. Mamai Vamsha. All the existence is a part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. Very important. The fragmental portion of the Supreme Lord. It's not something like a broken part. Broken part of a wood is not useful as much as the wood. We have already understood in the second chapter that the spirit cannot be cut into pieces. Yes? So we cannot be fragmental portion, means we are chopped and made so many pieces. No. This fragment is not materially conceived. It is not like matter which can be cut into pieces and joined together again. The conception is not, that kind of conception is not applicable here, because the Sanskrit word sanatana means eternal is used here. The fragmental portion is also eternal. It is stated in the beginning of the second chapter only. The individual body is the soul which is existing in each and every individual body is the fragmental portion of Supreme Lord. Dehino asmin yatha dehe. That fragmental portion, when liberated from the bodily entanglement, revives its original spiritual body and spiritual form out of this entanglement, and can get the association with the Supreme Lord back. Qualitatively one with the Lord, just as a part and parcel of the gold or as a gold. Suppose there is a big lump of gold. From that you get only one drop, one small chip of a gold. The quality is the same, but the value is not the same, right? Value of a big lump of gold is more. Value of a small chip is less. Yes? Yes? So it's like that. Part and parcel means. The living entity in this material world carries different conception of life, kids, from one body to another body. How does this explain in Bhagavad Gita? Is like how the air carries the aromas. Shariram yadavapnoti yachapyutkramati grihitvaitani samyati vayurgandhani vashayat. Ivashayat, vayurgandhani vashayat. Ashayat means from their source. How the aroma is taken from the source of the aroma and it is passed through the air everywhere. In the same way, the living entity is transmigrating from one body to the other body, from this present activities to the next activities, carrying the subtle body with lot of impressions, mind, intelligence and false ego. The subtle body carries these impressions. And we get another body accordingly. In the next slide, this process of transmigration from one body to another body and struggling while in this body is called karshati, or the struggle for existence. Karshati. Then take another body again. Obtain certain types of ear, eyes, tongue, nose and sense of touch, which are grouped about the mind. He does enjoy that particular sense objects. Mataji, everybody sees ears, right? What is this mean by getting a different set of ears or different set of tongue or mouth? It is different for everybody. How, Mataji? Everything is used for the same purpose, but the grasping capacity of those senses is different in different. Suppose if you see a deer ears are more known to be very active. Eyes, Eagle's eyes are told to be very sharp to look at the things. Nose, some animals' nose can smell. Tongue. Every animal has its own thing. So which set we will get, we don't know. Real consciousness is Krishna consciousness. All other consciousness is rubbish consciousness. So in any body we cannot do Krishna consciousness except human body. Yes, we get some sukruti by that animal being as a pet in a devotee's house or something like that. But other than that, no sukruti in the animal life. One of many other forms, what we have got, 8.4 million species are there. From all those species, I'm talking about species, I'm not talking about the population, I'm talking about only species, 8.4 million species. And from that 8.4 million species, we have got this human body, which is rarest of the rare. Whatever we endeavor, we should endeavor from the viewpoint of who we are, what is our source. Like the splendor of the sun which dissipates the darkness of this whole world comes from me, Krishna says. Darkness, daytime, nighttime we call, right? And the splendor of the moon also, and the splendor of the fire also, everything comes from Krishna. In the 10th chapter we have understood. And Krishna says, I enter into each and every planet by my energy. I become the moon to give the juice to the vegetables in the night. Very important verse, another one. I am situated in the human body, of course, as Paramatma, and something else also. Agnir, fire, 14th verse. Aham Vaishvanaro bhutva praninam deham ashritah pranapana samayukta pachami annam chaturvidam. I am the fire of the digestion in the bodies of the living entities, and I join with the air of the life, outgoing and incoming, like inward, outward, both. And to digest the 4 kinds of food stuff, I am inside the tummy as the fire. When Krishna was young and Krishna would get sick, Yashoda Mai would take the drishti out of that Krishna with different names of Lord Vishnu, saying that you, like a fire god in the tummy, you protect my son. Like this god in the eyes, you protect my son's eyes. Like this god, everywhere she was. And whose name she was taking? Different names of Lord Vishnu she was taking. To take out the drishti from who? Who is the source of Lord Vishnu? That's Krishna. Very important verse, 15th verse, 15.15. Very well-known verse, very many times recited verse to explain the philosophy. Here Krishna is putting a disclaimer that everything comes from him and in everything he is there. So listen carefully. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha vedaischa sarveraham eva vedya vedanta krit vedavid eva chaham. Certainly I am the one. What he is? I am seated in everyone's heart. Not only Nishita's, Niyati's, me, the cockroach, the bug, the everything. I am seated in everybody's heart. From me comes the remembrance. If you are remembering that there is a Bhagavad Gita class here, that comes from Krishna. If you are remembering that there is a math exam, that is also coming from Krishna. The remembrance power is coming from Krishna. Knowledge is coming from Krishna. Forgetfulness is also coming from Krishna. Mataji, why does Krishna give forgetfulness, Mataji? I'm forgetting a lot of things. My memory is getting weak. Because you are forgetting the things because you are desiring to forget those things. So continuously think about not forgetting those things. Forget about the things that are bothering you. You get sometimes nightmares. Try to forget about those nightmares. Try to forget about the bad things which bother you. Try to remember only the things which get you closer to Krishna, which gives you happiness. But for everybody there is a definition of what gives happiness different, what gives sadness different, depending on their intelligence. For a drug addict or an alcoholic person, alcohol gives the happiness, so he'll ask for alcohol only to Krishna, he will ask for drugs only to Krishna. According to your asking, Krishna provides you those things. What you are seeking is important. And what does he say? Matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha, remembrance, forgetfulness, knowledge, everything comes from me. Vedaisya sarver ahameva vedya, means by all the Vedas I am the one to be known, nothing else. Don't get bewildered by the Vedic knowledge. I am the one who is the essence of all the Vedas. I am to be known by the all Vedas, because I am the compiler of Vedanta and I am the knower of the Vedas. I am to be known through Vedas also. Very important verse. How to understand this Vedas, how to understand with this Vedic knowledge the leaves of this banyan tree. The living entity forgets as soon as he quits his present body, but he begins his work again through the help of the Supreme Lord. Although he forgets, the Lord gives him the intelligence to renew the work where he ended in the last life. Receives the opportunity to understand the Vedas properly. If one is serious about understanding the Vedic knowledge, that seriousness should come to understanding that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. The essence is devotional service. The essence is to know the source. Essence is to connect to that source. There are two classes of beings, kids. One is fallible, one is infallible. In the material world, every living entity is fallible. And in the spiritual world, every living entity is infallible. Achyuta. Krishna is Achyuta. When we go to Krishna Loka, we will become Achyuta. Achyuta, Ananta, a lot of words of Krishna's name. One who never fails in his affection, one he never fails in following his dharma, the eternal dharma. There are 6 types of exchanges when you are in this material body: birth, growth, duration, reproduction, dwindling, and then vanishing. That's it. These are the changing of the material body, or these are the changes in the material body, or these are the changes of the material body. But in the spiritual world, the body doesn't go through all these changes. As I said, there is no old age, no birth, there is no disease, there is no death. These all exist in only material world. Living entity who is coming in contact with the matter, they start the beginning of all these problems. In the spiritual world, they are always liberated in oneness. Besides these two kids, there is the greatest living personality. That's the Supreme Soul, the imperishable Lord himself, who has entered into the 3 worlds, and he is maintaining all the 3 worlds, upper, middle and lower planetary system or lower systems. One is fallible, one is infallible, and the third one is source of infallible and fallible. Krishna says very nicely, Niyati, don't sleep, 15.19. I am transcendental, beyond the fallible and infallible. Transcendental. We read transcendental knowledge, we read 3 modes of material nature, we read how we have to be out of those 3 modes of material nature. Krishna says, because I am the greatest, I am the celebrated both in this world and in the Vedas as the Supreme Person. I can help you to get out of here. The main point is we don't surrender unto Krishna. We don't request Krishna that I want to come back to you, Krishna. Krishna is there always with us as a localized form, as Paramatma. Krishna is there to give us the feedback through the devotees. So we need the association of the devotees, very important. How can I see God, Krishna? You can see, how can I see you, Krishna? You can see me through the devotees. You can see my reciprocation through the devotees' reciprocation towards you. It's only the acceptance of the real conception, kids. Whoever knows Krishna as the Supreme Personality of the Godhead without doubting is told to be the knower of everything. Then he obviously engages himself in full devotional service. No doubt about it. You know that to get the doctor degrees, you are goal, then obviously you will be in the mood of getting to that doctorate degree, right? You don't go and study the law books, or you don't go and study the orthopedic books, other books, but you will study only those books which related to your goal. In the same way, when you know me as the Supreme Personality of the Godhead, you will act accordingly, that you will come to that Supreme Personality of the Godhead. You will not act in the other way, or else you are following this reflection of the banyan tree and getting more and more attached with this roots of fruitive activity mentality. This is the most confidential part of Vedic scriptures, kids. We have to understand Vedas properly. They are not meant for dharma, artha, kama, moksha. It is beyond those things. Whoever understands properly Vedas, they become wise, and their endeavors will always go towards perfection. Krishna is saying, the reason for all the Vedas, the essence of all the Vedas is me. Look at me, look at me, look at me. 15th chapter, very small chapter this is. Very small chapter, 20 verses, I think, that's it. Same as, similar to that of 9th chapter. It basically, whole essence is how to understand the Vedas. What is the essence of the Vedas? How to focus on the Vedic knowledge. And the first fall down starts with the desire. It's caused by the desire. The cause of our fall down to this material world is desire, ichha. What was the desire? Desire to enjoy the material nature independently of Krishna. The second weakness of the heart is that one increases the propensity to Lord. The desire is dominating our propensity to reach God. So we get more attached to matter and possession of that matter. We are not attached to the dukkha, kids, or the problems. Is anybody attracted to the problems? Nobody. But we are attracted to the sources of the problems and say that, why did problems come to me? So we have to get detached from the sources of those problems. The deep-rooted attachment of our desires with the fruitive activity mentality have to be cut immediately. First 5 verses of this chapter exclusively tell us the process of freeing ourselves from this weakness of the heart, Hrudaya Daurbalyam. And the rest of the chapter till the end discuss about the Krishna's yoga, yogic powers. Krishna being the supreme, Purushottama yoga we call. Okay, good? Are you good? You wanted to leave early today, so we started early and I ended on time. Okay, 7 to 8 is good. So tomorrow we will do the 16th chapter. Very beautiful chapter. Very beautiful chapter. This speaks about demoniac and divine natures, divine and demoniac natures. And when you will be surprised to see how demoniac we are, not how divine we are. There is a list of demoniac and divine qualities. So whoever is taking the notes can make that chart form again like we did in the past. Just a whole chapter explains, 15th chapter, about understanding the Supreme Personality of the Godhead to be the cause of everything, to be the maintainer of everything, being the eternal abode and shelter, everything. Vedas especially, people get bewildered by this rosy, flowery verses in the Vedas which lead them to the karma kandic procedures and which say that you will go back to this place if you do this, and everything is temporary wherever they are going. So we have to look for the eternal, and that eternal will be left when we understand the Vedas properly, that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. Once we know where we have to surrender, why would we take little things into consideration? No, we won't. Okay, I'll stop the recording here, and then if you have anything you can share.